All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Beals, and it's my privilege to welcome you to a special edition of our Good Morning Redwood City program. This morning is our annual State of the City address by our Vice Mayor and Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank Joe Gumina and Oracle for their fantastic hospitality and their outstanding professional staff. Fred, George, Matt, and Mima for letting us use this room. And Joe must have a terrific staff because he's not here. I don't even know if he knows we're here. But thank you, Joe, wherever you are. And I'm also supposed to recognize someone, and I don't know if I can recognize him if I can't find him, but he happens to be my favorite brother-in-law that's here today. Oh, there he is. Please welcome, without a tie, of course, our brand new Chamber of the Board for the Chamber, Gino Gasparini. Attaboy. You did a good job. The mayor will recognize other dignitaries in the audience, but I think we're all dignitaries. As many of you know, my job through the years has been to introduce our speakers, in this case, the vice mayor and mayor, through the bios that they provide to me. But in the case of these two outstanding individuals, there's so much more to the fabric of their lives than a bio can explain. First and foremost, most women would prefer breakfast in bed on the morning of their 50th birthday. But not Roseanne. She's giving us the State of the City address. So, please stop. So the least we can do is to wish her happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roseanne. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That just goes to show you the dedication. Both of our speakers this morning began their Redwood City community work with grassroots parallel paths and involvement right here in the Redwood Shores neighborhood. Roseanne and Jeff were members of the local homeowners associations. Roseanne and Jeff then got involved in the Redwood City Planning Commission. And then the Chamber of Commerce became a vital part of their growth in Redwood City activities and leadership, as both were highly involved in all our committees, leading to both of them becoming Chamber Chairman of the Board, both being named Chamber Persons of the Year, Roseanne twice, second time just recently. And also Roseanne was Chamber Businesswoman of the Year. Jeff tried to get that. And probably would have gotten Businessman of the Year if we had that award. Excuse me. Both ran for Redwood City Council, both were elected. Roseanne is a former mayor and current vice mayor, and Jeff is our newly elected mayor. And these two also have real jobs. Roseanne worked for the French government for 20 years, which deserves a golden star of some sort, in economic development for the Alsace region, and is now president and CEO of SAMCETA, which is the San Mateo County Economic Development Association. Jeff is a licensed architect. I don't see the pocket protector, but there's usually several pins that gives them away.
Engineers, Alan.
Yeah, he's really an engineer. And he's vice president and general manager with Swinnerton Management and Consulting. Now, if for some reason these two don't have a meeting some night, they give back with the remainder of the time they have. Roseanne on the following boards: Casa de Redwood, San Mateo County Transportation Authority. She's chair of Peninsula TV, that's filming us right now, and many others. Jeff is currently also chairman of the SamTrans Board of Directors, chairman of the Peninsula Traffic Congestion Relief Alliance, and chairman of the board for Broadway by the Bay. Now, this has to be true. I couldn't make this up. And both are happily married with children. Well, at least I think they are, because they could never be home, so that must be the secret to a good marriage. They are smart, they are dedicated, they are super involved. They make countless personal sacrifices for the good of our community. And among many other things, they have helped establish a framework for the revisioning of our town. It wasn't that many years ago, and I'm sure we all remember, when no one wanted to be in Redwood City. And now everybody does. So it is my honor to present two of the highest quality leaders a community could ever wish to have for our State of the City address, Vice Mayor Roseanne Faust and Mayor Jeff G.
What a nice intro.
Hello, Redwood City Detective Unit. How may I help you?
Yes, officer. I need to report a missing person.
Okay, ma'am. Settle down. Who's missing?
Redwood City.
Ma'am, how long has Redwood City been missing?
Redwood City was around a long time, but Redwood just started to become distant.
Okay, ma'am. You've got to give me a little bit more to go on. How about a description of Redwood City?
Dark and kind of quiet. Really sort of boring. Kind of stiff as a board. That's how I would describe Redwood.
All right, ma'am. Now we're getting somewhere. How about the last place you saw Redwood City?
The last place I saw Redwood was downtown Redwood City. That's where he was.
Okay, well, ma'am, I'm going to be really serious about this and not sugarcoat it. This is going to be a tough case to crack, and we're going to have to put our best detectives on it. Red W. Morton.
Well, thank you, officer. I really appreciate you looking into where Redwood is. I was concerned, but he is kind of boring.
Everybody knows I'm the best detective in this town. I've cracked the biggest cases for years, but this one is a doozy. Where is Redwood City? The lady said he's a loner. No point looking for him in this new movie theater with millions of visitors a year. Way too much action for Redwood. And these new restaurants, a little too trendy for Redwood. Wouldn't imagine he'd be shopping at the second Brick Monkey store either. A little too cool for Redwood. I checked the county museum. Beautiful place, but he wasn't there. Maybe Redwood's catching a show at the Fox Theater.
Have I seen Redwood?
No.
Have you seen Redwood?
I haven't seen Redwood.
I don't know. It's we've been putting on events here for 3 years now. We've had maybe 120 events a year, plus we're at most of the events in the square. You'd think we would have seen someone named Redwood. We had 120 events at the Fox this past year, about half of those private events and the other half public events. We also were able to partner with the City of Redwood City to produce the inaugural Silicon Valley Ball, which was just a fantastic event.
In the past, we've also had the president come, so I think that we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen this year.
Really an exciting time to be in downtown Redwood City.
Maybe old Redwood is just flat out curious about Stanford and Redwood City. I went to the campus to find out.
Well, I could tell you if someone named Redwood had come by, we would have told them that we're very excited to be in Redwood City. We've been here a few years now. The city staff, council, commissioners have been great. We've worked with the city quite a bit over the last few years to come up with some creative ideas that we can bring to the city, bringing our academic programs, some of our business programs to encourage entrepreneurship, ways to improve the property, to make it more pedestrian, bike-friendly, to improve the landscaping, take away a lot of the parking lots and create good open space, really revitalize our property and hopefully make it a more beneficial area in the city.
Maybe Redwood was at newly renovated Mezzi's Park. I thought I'd check it out.
Well, you won't find him here, but what you will find in Redwood City is award-winning parks that bring families together, and we celebrate diversity It's great to be in a city that celebrates diversity throughout the year and all the cultural events that we have. Y a través de Redwood City International hemos formado una relación de hermandad con Ciudad Guzmán, Jalisco, México. Esto nos ayudará a compartir eventos culturales, hacer relaciones económicas y avanzar en programas educativos.
Connie mentioned there was a trendy restaurant downtown named Quinto Sol, the fifth son. Maybe Deadwood was there.
Detective, hi, what brings you here? Table for one?
Thanks, but no time to eat. I'm looking for Deadwood City.
Wow, Deadwood City. Haven't heard that name for a while. Probably since before I opened my first restaurant. But everyone coming through the door is having a great time. The nice thing about being part of the restaurant was being able to have these little sound bites of people and them coming in and out of the door and just hearing these little things of people saying like, haven't been here in a while, look how much has changed, wow, look at this restaurant. And I think it made people feel really good to be able to see the city develop into something that they themselves felt comfortable, that the beautiful plaza, to have wonderful music, to be able to share it with people, and also that was the whole point of the restaurant, was to bring people together, to have a community, a sense of community, and that's basically what we felt was the best thing about the city, was that never before have we been in a city where the people themselves have such pride in their community.
Ms. Soul stated that former Mayor Jim Hartnett was just having lunch at her restaurant. He was headed to Fire Station number 9. Maybe he had leads about the whereabouts of Deadwood.
Redwood City, I've been too busy thinking about Redwood City and San Carlos. You know, they're together now in the same fire department, saves money and improves services for both communities. In working together, the firefighters can get even better training and at a lower cost because we share the training costs and are able to do even more training than otherwise. So it provides even higher quality fire service to both communities in a way that wouldn't be possible if we weren't working together.
Be on the lookout for Deadwood City. Repeat, be on the lookout.
I was running out of leads. I decided to check out the Fair Oaks Community Center. I found Casey and Nia Sewell. Their apartment burned down. They hadn't seen Deadwood, but they told me about the effectiveness of the city's fire response that day.
I was personally blown away. I didn't expect them to be there as soon as they were and to be as helpful as they were. And one thing that really meant so much to me for that day was that they rescued our cat. Our apartment caught on fire way quicker than we'd prepared for, and so we had to escape without her, and they rescued her, and that was mind-blowing.
I said this at the council meeting. Not only do they come, save your life, save your pet's life, bust down doors, break through barriers, and get everybody out alive. And the fire marshal even said it was like the quickest fire he's ever seen in 25 years, that people should have died. And they do all that, and then they throw a benefit dinner out of their own pocket. They're cooking the meals, and then it was the most warming, welcoming feeling when we got there. It was like, I was choked up. I had to sit down and just collect myself because I was like about to lose it. And so, and we both kind of were, because, the love of the city was really felt within us. And that, I think that's priceless.
I thanked Casey and Nia for their time and headed to Sequoia Station, right in the heart of town. Maybe Deadwood was there.
Detective, I think you need to check your map. Deadwood City isn't anywhere near around here. This is Sequoia Station in Redwood City, and there's some good things happening around the site. How about Project Safe, for instance? That's been a collaborative effort between the City of Redwood City Police Force and many agencies around here to help make sure that Sequoia Station in the downtown area is comfortable for all of our citizens.
I was becoming desperate. I walked over to Arguella Plaza. With all the transit options over here, maybe somebody had seen Deadwood.
Well, he's not here, but let me tell you about some of the programs that the employees of Silver Spring Networks are using. We've got a couple of dozen people who take Caltrain in from north in the city to all the way south in Gilroy. And we've got a couple more dozen employees who actually use the van share program, and they're riding in from the East Bay, from south in San Jose. And they all come here either to the Caltrain station or straight to our offices about 2 miles away. And as you know, 2 miles is kind of long to walk, so a lot of them are using the bike share program here or bringing their own bikes. So Redwood City's transportation infrastructure has been a great benefit for our employees. And you know, Detective, word on the street is maybe you should check out that Crossing 900. Grab a bike over here at the bike share and head on over.
I hadn't ridden a bike in years, but I took Mr. Victor's advice. I rode over to the Crossing 900 construction site. I was flat out of leads, but maybe Deadwood was there.
Deadwood City is not a person, it's an old reputation that has long ago gone. Mostly and thankfully due to the precise plan that was created in Redwood City. And actually we're in a great location to explain why the reputation of Deadwood City no longer exists. This is the marketing room for Crossing 900, which is the single most exciting development that has happened on the San Francisco Peninsula in the past decade. 320,000 square foot Class A facility right at the train, and the interest in this project has been fantastic. We have way more interest in the project than we can actually serve. We should get to be 100% leased prior to the completion of construction, which is in the middle of next year.
The mystery was solved.
Birds flying high.
I was chasing an old reputation.
You know how I feel.
What do you say we bury this old reputation? Right here at Crossing 900. It's the perfect spot to say goodbye to that reputation of the past.
Gladly. You know how I feel.
Goodbye, Deadwood City.
Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me.
Looks like this case is closed.
And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Executive producer. Where's Sherry? Where did Sherry go? I know Sherry's right here. Sherry Costabedas, our screenwriter. Officer John Cowart, director, editor, cinematographer. And then I know there are a number of stars in the room that help with this video. I know Connie, Eric, I don't know if Ben's here. Please stand up and let's say thank you to all of them. There are just so many thank yous that we want to do, and we're going to get the thank yous out of the way first. So, Roseanne?
What I'd like to do is first thank the Chamber for hosting this State of the City. Every year, the Chamber is such a huge partner of the city, so thank you to Amy Buckmaster, the CEO, and the entire team, Barb and Holly and Carolina. Thank you. I want to thank all of you. Many of you live and or work or have a connection to Redwood City, and we are incredibly grateful for your support and the fact that you're here this morning on a quite an interesting rainy morning, but we do need rain. I also want to thank Oracle for the venue. I mean, let's give it up for Oracle, folks. I'd also like to acknowledge our department head team who is here this morning. We have our city manager, Bob Bell, our deputy manager, Audrey Ramberg, Chris Beth, our Parks, Rec, and Community Services, Dave Genesee, our library director, Bill Eckern, Community Development, Chief J.R. Gamez, our police chief, Chief Jim Skinner, our fire chief, Brian Ponte, our finance director, Pamela Thompson, our city attorney, and Sylvia Vonderlinden, our city clerk.
We also have a number of elected officials in the room, I think. I know Mario Rondon is here from Kevin Mullen's office. Mario. Jeff Cardenas from Senator Jerry Hill's office. We have Carol Groom from the Board of Supervisors. Did Warren make it? Warren, I can't see. Warren's supposed to be here, so probably he'll be here in a little bit. And then we have a number of boards and commissioners and committee members that are here. From our Port Commission, Loriana Castro, Dick Dodge, Ralph Garcia, Mike Giari, our Port Director. From our Planning Commission, Ernie Schmidt and Nancy Radcliffe. From the San Mateo County Community College District, Tom Moore. Park and Rec, Connie Guerrero. And our newly crowned Miss Redwood City, San Mateo County, Diana Noriega Wang. My apologies if I missed anyone. You can come grab my coattails a little bit later and say I missed somebody. We'll get you in here. From our council, we can't do this by ourselves. I want to recognize our council colleagues that are here today. Councilmember Diane Howard, Councilmember Ian Bain, Councilmember John Siebert, and Councilmember Barbara Pierce. And a special shout out to our former council member, colleague, and former mayor, Jim Hartnett. As we started to plan our State of the City, we talked about doing something different. I hope you did like something different, because it was very creative. We wanted you to have fun, we wanted you to enjoy this, but we also want to take a few minutes to talk about Redwood City. And really, it is a new day. The format for today, for the next few minutes, is we're going to frame our presentation around the Council's 6 strategic initiatives. Vice Mayor and I will take turns talking about each of them. We'll talk about how we have achieved or working towards them, what we're doing, and what we're going to be doing more of to bring these 6 initiatives to reality here in Redwood City. Before I get started, I want to tell a little story about Deadwood City. I've been thinking about this for a long time. How do we get rid of that nickname that we had? And at the Silicon Valley Ball, that you'll hear more about in a minute, I met this older woman who had come back to Redwood City. She had grown up here, moved away, and came back, and she was going, wow, what an exciting downtown. She was enjoying the vitality, the vibrancy, all the stores, the restaurants, the life. And I was telling her, I'd like to get rid of that name, Deadwood City. She goes, no, that's not what we used to call Redwood City. I goes, no, that's all I knew about. She goes, no, when we were growing up as kids, we used to call Redwood City Deadwood. Sorry, Penn TV is probably going to have to edit that out, but whatever it is, it's a new day. It's a new day in Redwood City. And these efforts, what we're seeing today, didn't start today with the council. It started years ago. And my involvement was with the Downtown Task Force. It was Nancy Radcliffe was co-chairing with Bruce Conning. It was a community task force that came up with the vision for downtown Redwood City. It wasn't the council. The council knew we had to make a change then. But it was the citizens, the businesses, the community of Redwood City that came up with the vision for change. And because of that vision, and because of the council's work, this one and the many that were before, they put the foundations and stepping stones in place to see a new day in Redwood City. Roseanne, did I miss anything? Did you want to add anything?
Just one thing. I think our mayor had this vision. When we first sat down to talk about the state of the city, his first words were, I want something different. I don't want to stand behind a podium and talk back and forth. So please give it up for Mayor Jeff G.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the city's 6 strategic initiatives. These initiatives include, let me back up for a second. I forgot something. Sorry, Sherry, you caught me there. One of the things about Redwood City is we can't do it by ourselves. There may be 7 of us on the council dais. You've met many of our department heads, our city manager. But we can only do what we've done through partnerships, by working together with the chamber, working together with the downtown business group, working with all of you. Many of you have been longtime supporters and partners in Redwood City. But just as important, we have a great committed staff to Redwood City. They've worked very hard for many years to bring us to today. It's their hard work. You can see all the different things going on in the video, in the slides here. Their persistence, their commitment, their dedication to our city that have helped us bring to you and to everyone here a new day in Redwood City. So please join me in thanking our staff here in Redwood City. Our 6 council initiatives adopted by the City Council 5 years ago: community building, government operations, transportation, economic development, public safety, and youth. It's these initiatives that are guiding our decision-making on the council about where we want to prioritize our initiatives, where we want to spend our resources, and how we make Redwood City a great place for all of us. So I'm going to start off with community building and communications. There's several ingredients to that. The first one is events. Redwood City is known for our events. One of the key things about that task force 15 years ago was Redwood City wanted to become the entertainment hub of the peninsula. Look at all the things that we've been doing. Last year, over 85 events were held on Courthouse Square. 18 Friday night concerts in Stafford Park, Marlin Park. We have the Century Theater, Fox Theater, Dragon Theater, Angelica's, live music at a number of restaurants and bars. We now have become the entertainment hub of the peninsula. People far and wide know that they can come to Redwood City for a great night out. The next ingredient to community building, human services. We also know as a council that we need to take care of our community and our residents. Through the partnerships, the work of our staff, our commissions like Housing and Human Concerns, Parks, Recreation, and Community Services, we are able to help individuals that are struggling. Last year, we were able to provide services to over 2,200 households through information and referral services. Over 700 households needed some form of emergency shelter. 550 homes needed some form of housing assistance, and over 500 homes needed food assistance. And as you saw from the earlier video with the fires on Woodside Road, our fire department and the Create a Smile Foundation and the assistance from our dedicated staff and their commitment, like Chris Bath and Terry Chin, make a huge difference in our community. Chris and Terry were recognized by the County Office of Emergency Services at a council meeting a couple meetings ago for their commitment and dedication to our community. Chris, thank you very much again. Together, we are able to help many of our residents that are in need. But as I mentioned, partnerships, we can't do it alone. We have come to our new day through working together and supporting one another. I want to thank all of you here at the Chamber and you individually for being partners in our community. The Silicon Valley Ball, 1,500 people for our first downtown black and white ball. Through Eric and Lori Lochtefeld, the Fox Theater, Park, Recreation, and Community Service, and our event staff. Just a fabulous event with the San Mateo County History Museum. Nearly a dozen different partners supported the displaced residents from the 2 devastating fires on Woodside Road. Our own Fair Oaks Community Center, the Red Cross, Envision Shelter Network, the County of San Mateo, Salvation Army. They all helped and rallied around those in need and made a difference. And together, for those 2 fires, we supported and helped out over 144 displaced households from those devastating fires. And lastly, communications. We're not able to build community without getting the word out. We have to work together to get the word out. And we're learning that it takes multiple ways of informing the community and multiple channels. Our city manager's office last year, 310 general e-news, 84 press releases, 14,000 subscribers to our individual department e-news, And there's this thing called social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff, Pinterest, what's that? But Twitter, because of all our departments and our followers, altogether we have over 10,000 followers following Redwood City on Twitter. Pretty damn amazing. As we look forward to continue what we've started and what we're able to do, one of the newest things that we've added is My Redwood City. Hopefully everyone's added My Redwood City to your smartphone. Everyone's heard about it? I think most of us have one of these. My Redwood City is an app for your iPhone or for your Android that helps connect you to Redwood City. What's going on, where to park, events, activities, work orders for street lights or potholes. You're connected to Redwood City. We're redesigning our website. One of the major initiatives is a community benefits program. We want to make sure that if you're going to come to Redwood City as a business, as a builder, and as a developer, we want you to be a partner in our community. And we're going to tell you what that partnership looks like and give you a menu of choices, of what you can do to be a long-standing partner here in Redwood City. Our Parks and Recreation Department is working on their strategic plan, and I want to help make sure that the council is connected to our neighborhoods. We're going to have 2 council meetings in the neighborhoods per year so that it's easier for our residents to come to council and talk to us. Government operations, we still have to be accountable and efficient. And as a service organization, we also always need to kind of develop ways to be efficient, streamlined, competitive on service and price, and look for ways for the way we can be the best we can be. Some of the examples are our regional training consortium, working together with other cities and agencies, learning together and learning from others. The San Carlos Fire Agreement, what a great win for both communities, where now we can provide better service working together. We have over 30 contracts with other cities to provide them services. And this number is just astonishing. Of those over 30 contracts, 19 of them are for IT services. There are only 20 cities in San Mateo County. We are the IT provider for the region. And more recently, our Public Works team took over fleet management for the city of San Mateo. Those shared services are going to make a difference for all of us in the region. And then our employee cohorts is a great example. This came from our employees. A vending machine in Public Works so that they can get emergency supplies, hard hats, safety gear when they need it without having to have a staff person at a counter. What a difference in streamlining government operations. Sustainability. We adopted our climate action plan last year. How do we become more sustainable? This is our roadmap for our climate and sustainable initiatives. Last year, through 2 pilot programs, 300 LED street lights, 700 more planned this year, and over the next 2 years, 2,600 street lights will be converted to LED, saving energy, improving a better quality of light. Community cleanups, and one of the huge and most significant initiatives that prior city councils have put in place, recycled water. We are now selling 13,000 units of recycled water a month, enough water to fill 15 Olympic-sized swimming pools every month. So with new businesses and new residents coming, we need to continue our hard work to make sure that we have the capacity to deal with the new residents. Continue to make sure that our employees are taken care of through wellness and training programs. We have to have a sustainable compensation and benefit programs, and then continue with our shared services. And one of the most exciting things for me is bringing recycled water to the west side of 101. You saw in the video, one of the great things that makes Redwood City special is transportation. And we're really lucky to be here in San Mateo County, in the heart of the county. One of the things is transportation issues do not start and stop at city limits. And we're very, very fortunate to have a number of partners here. The MTC, the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, the San Mateo County Transportation Authority, SamTrans, Caltrans, Stanford, the Peninsula Traffic Congestion Relief Alliance. All these agencies are working together with our city to provide ways for our residents and our workers to move around. And as Stanford comes into Redwood City, we're going to see more of a new shuttle, Marguerite. Because wherever Stanford is, Marguerite goes. And wherever Marguerite stops, she can get on board. So we're very excited about that. We've got a great transportation hub offering different modes of transportation, well-designed and maintained streets. I asked Bill at a council meeting, he says, what would you give a grade for our infrastructure? He gave us a B+. We're very lucky to have that kind of grade for our roads. And then continue to work on our complete streets, bikes, and pedestrian amenities. As we look forward, we're going to continue with our Safe Routes to School program, lighted crosswalks at our schools, Brewster Avenue Bike Project, north-south bike routes. We have Redwood City Connect, bike share program. I can't even remember the last time when I rode a bike, but it's been a fabulous success. One of the things that we are all working together on and looking forward to, when we can start construction on a new 101-84 interchange. We've started an environmental analysis and design work on that. And Zipcar came to Redwood City. And it was so successful, they're looking to add 2 more stations here in the city. So again, 101-84, the Bay Trail, Bloomquist Road, complete streets. There's a lot coming when we talk about transportation. So Roseanne?
So we're going to move on to our 4th strategic initiative, which is economic development. Economic development isn't just about who's coming. It's about celebrating, appreciating, and retaining the businesses that we already have in Redwood City and making sure that we pay attention to them. So, retaining Shutterfly. We didn't want them to move. They needed space. We worked with them. Brick Monkey, Kinto Soul, Jeep, Rocket Fuel. They again moved from one facility to another out to Pacific Shores, Silver Spring, and Yumi. These are just to name a few. From an economic development perspective, though, we are so proud that a few years back we hired a new economic development manager. Thank you, Sean Brooks, who is here with us today. He has made over 178 individual visits to companies in Redwood City to talk to them about their needs and their future here in our community. We also have, roughly, in the last 18 months, 60 new businesses that have started operations in Redwood City. And those are the ones that we know about. You can imagine the way the economy is constantly shifting and changing. There are a lot of companies that are out there that are just in their nascent stages, and we will be hearing about them. But we know that Sean, he pretty much works 24/7. Our port, we've noticed a significant increase in the tonnage. Our port has worked tirelessly to make sure that we have businesses that are not just, it's not just about high tech, folks. Yes, we live in a very high tech area, but we need businesses at all spectrums within the economy because that's how you sustain a community. So, and I know part of the port's effort is to work on increasing the dredging because at 26 feet, we can go to an authorized depth of 30 feet. We need to work. They're working with our federal government to get the dredging to happen because that helps the ships come in and out. What else is involved in economic development? Okay, what's the second part of the word? We've got the economy and we have development. So what's happening in development in Redwood City? You saw a lot of it in the video. Our mayor has touched on it. I look around at the tables here. You folks live and breathe this issue and development. We have crossing 900, 320,000 square feet of commercial A office space that is 90% certain to be leased prior to it being finished. That says something about what's happening in Redwood City. 1,635, let me repeat that, 1,635 new housing units that are gonna come online in Redwood City in the next 15 months. That's more than that has been built anywhere in the last 10 years. I mean, that's huge, folks. It is going to bring new folks. It's going to help house our existing population, which is very critical. We also have, okay, I just repeated myself there. So looking forward, what's going to happen looking forward in economic development? Get so excited about these 1,635 housing units. I'm like, whoo, okay. Looking forward, we've got the Grand Boulevard El Camino Master Plan. This is something that I really hope to work on with my council colleague, Barbara Pierce, who has been on the Grand Boulevard Task Force for a number of years. I've joined her in this work, and to have a master plan, a precise plan for El Camino and the Grand Boulevard. Community benefits. We're all talking about, well, with this new development, exactly what do we as residents and taxpayers of the community, what happens to us? Where are the community benefits? So the council is going to be having a number of meetings to talk about what's important to you as a community. What are the benefits you want to see us negotiate as folks come in? Stanford and Redwood City. Okay, I'm just going to stand here for a second and smile. How exciting is this, folks? Could we wake up? Come on, Stanford and Redwood City. I'm not sure. You have a world-class institution. We sit at the conflux of Cal. I needed to give that plug. Our mayor is a Cal graduate. USF and Stanford. And Stanford is in Redwood City. We're talking over in an initial phase, just in programs and cash on the table and mitigations, over $15 million. That doesn't take into effect the economic impact of having 1,000 workers in our community and living and what they're going to be doing over the 30-year development agreement. Entrepreneurial boot camp. First of all, we have a speaker series. Again, thank you to the Fox Theater and Carrington Hall at Sequoia High School, because that are probably two of the venues for a speaker series, world-class speakers. Plus, we have our entrepreneurial boot camp. Applications will be available the end of March, and the first two-day session is August 26th and 27th. These type of community benefits, Stanford was amazed when we came and said, we want something different. We want something legacy building for our community. So then moving on from economic development to public safety. No community can function without a critical and effective public safety personnel, entity, leaders, from Chief Skinner and Chief Gomez. We need to have adequate public safety. So in the last year, let's start with fire prevention. So emergency response and crime and fire prevention. Let me give you a few statistics. 2,200 fire safety inspections. More than 165 residents were safely evacuated from the 2 residential fires on Woodside Road. Thank you to Chief Skinner, Chief Gomez, and your team. You all work together, and our other departments, our Park Rec and Community Services, our what am I thinking? Well, Public Works, actually. How would we do this without Public Works? Disaster preparedness, 65 CERT participants received more than 2,000 hours of training. Those are community volunteers doing emergency response training, so our CERT volunteers. Gang suppression, 174 gang task force shifts. 174 gang task force shifts happening in the last year. We've had 60 family counseling sessions, because we all know it begins with your family. And that's where it goes from there. I look around the room and I see family members and I see people with families, and we're all touched in some way through the family interests. Our social media program. Our police department is a leader in social media. Online crime reporting. You can go online if you see something. You see all the advertisements. Redwood City was a leader and is an award-winning department for social media. We have a Pinterest site now that if you, by chance, are affected by a crime, if you're burglarized and you have pictures of your valuables, you can either upload them or the police take pictures of what they've recovered, and it's available on Pinterest. So looking forward in public safety, we are definitely strongly examining the return of Engine 9. We are expanding our fires rescue squad. We are looking at partnerships in disaster preparedness, because as the mayor said, we can't do it alone. Our new downtown police patrol with 1,635 housing units coming online, 320,000 square feet of office. We need to make sure that we are adequately patrolled and kept safe. Project Safe at Sequoia Station. How many of you have noticed the difference at Sequoia Station in the last 6 months? Once again, thank you. Connectivity with schools and youth, Student Community Advisory Network, and an Adopt a School. So then moving forward, the last strategic initiative and one that is important for the future of Redwood City is our youth. We want to keep them safe, we want to keep them healthy, and we want to keep them literate. Those are our core values as a community: safe, healthy, and literate. So in giving you some of the school data points, I want to go through, I have my little cards. So from a safe perspective, 152 first-time offenders were diverted from the criminal justice system. 152 youth were diverted. Family counseling service to 63 juveniles and 48 families. 380 fifth grade DARE graduates. How many of you know people that have been through the DARE program? Thank you again. We launched a 10-week parent project with 14 graduating parents in both English and Spanish. We have 72 teens in our Leaders Are Lit, Leaders in Training program at Parks, Rec, and Community Services. Those are our future volunteers. Those are the future people that are going to be sitting in the audience, folks. Those will be your future board, committee, and commission members and your city council members. Those are the folks that we're bringing forth. We have 350 teens volunteering at our teen center in our Redwood City Public Library. 350 teens. How many of you volunteered as a teenager? No need to raise your hand. Probably most of you have, because you are the overachievers, so that happens. But all of that volunteering. 5,000 kids are participating in PE programs at 10 plus school sites. Our Park and Rec department has provided 20 separate sports offerings for 2,800 youth. I'm just going to pause on that, because we know how important being active, being involved with sports, the camaraderie, and the teamwork. PAL and SAL, Police Activities League, Sheriff's Activities League. The cooperation between those two entities and what they are doing, we are very, very grateful. You make a difference in the lives of our youth, so thank you. Thank you to the boards of PAL and SAL. I see many of them in the audience today, so it is with you. It's the Sequoia Awards, another youth volunteering scholarship program. So then, moving on, what are some of the future things that we are thinking? We have literate, and you know what? I'd be remiss to not mention Dave Genesee and the library, the award-winning 5-star library. And our literacy, look at the libraries we have in Redwood City. How many of you have been inside one of the libraries? And I expect everyone to raise their hand. Okay. These libraries are phenomenal. So if we're going forward, we have a partnership with Redwood City 2020 that we're going to build on. It is these partnerships that make a difference. So looking forward, we want to make sure our youth are safe, healthy, and literate. Summer reading proficiency. Future phases of the early learning program, our ongoing partnership with Redwood City 2020, who we have been in partnership for 20 years with Redwood City 2020. Our joint use agreement with the schools, again, city-school partnership, our investment in parks and playgrounds, working back to community benefits, our youth agenda, and our opportunities for families. These strategic initiatives, this is what we live and breathe. So thank you.
Thank you, Roseanne. As we wrap up, our 6 initiatives at your desk you have, or at your table, you have our report for where we were last year, but looking forward, community building, our city website, a community benefits program that we've talked about, bringing our city council meetings into our neighborhoods. Alan, you got to load that app, My Redwood City, on your smartphone. Go ahead and do it. Danny probably going to have to tell him how to use it, but that's okay. It's all right. You know, we're looking forward. Government operations, we've got to maintain our ability to take on almost 10% growth in our population. The services that we provide and continue to expand shared services. Our infrastructure. We have a huge list of infrastructure projects, and one of the ones that I want to take a minute to highlight is through working with Councilmember Bain and Councilmember Pierce and Bill's great staff, that light at the end of the tunnel, I can see it, to fix the flooding in our bayfront communities. The flooding that probably happened today in Friendly Acres, the mobile home parks, we have the answer. We're working hard. And together, we've already received $4 million in 2 grants toward fixing that flooding problem that's plagued that part of our community for decades. Roseanne talked about public safety. Some of the exciting things that are coming. Our rescue squad is here. We are likely going to bring back Engine 9, but because of that influx of residents, we're probably going to add a patrol beat downtown, just to be able to deal with all those residents and businesses moving in. I think we have economic development next. Is that? Yep. Business retention. Roseanne mentioned, I'm looking forward to finishing our Inner Harbor Precise Plan this year and then taking that resources, those teams, and moving over and saying, what do we do now about El Camino Real? How do we reliven, add vitality to El Camino Real as part of the Grand Boulevard Initiative? And Stanford's on their way. They're coming to Redwood City. And then also this year, our CBID, our Downtown Community Benefits Improvement District. Sean's been working on that since he got here, and we're going to see some results hopefully this year. Let's see what else is left here, Sherry. Transportation, infrastructure, complete streets, connect Redwood City. And again, I keep telling Bill, I can't wait to 2020. I want it faster. I want a new interchange. But we have to go forward in a good way and a thoughtful way. Because one of the challenges about 101-84 is we've got a lot of different streets coming in at weird angles. If anyone wants to volunteer a street to close and not connect, let Bill know. But that's one of the hardest decisions we have to make is how do we straighten it all out? And one of the things about our downtown is the streets kind of turn. I said, I thought about straightening out the streets downtown one day, but I said, no, that's going to be too hard. So I think 101-84 might be a little easier. There we go, youth. We've got to take care of the future. And we're probably going to, because we just had our council retreat, this one's going to be rebranded. Not only do we need to focus on youth, but because we're all living longer, this will probably be rebranded to a community for all ages. Because our senior community is growing, it's getting larger, we're all living longer, and we have many, many generations alive at the same time right now. So we need to have something for everybody, as we have 4 and now 5 generations alive at the same time. We have to provide programs and services for everyone. I want to take a minute here and talk about financial sustainability. We're very, very blessed to have councils that have put in place reserve policies. We've balanced our budget. We've got to address our unfunded retiree costs, and we need to make sure we have sustainable benefits and compensation. But I want to take a moment here and pause because there's a lot has been going on in terms of public finance. Managing and projecting our revenues and expenditures is not an easy thing. Now, how do you pull out your crystal ball and say, Redwood City residents and businesses are going to sell this much and we get so much sales tax over the next 5 years? We have things like the local control funding formulas, ERAF, PEPRA, the triple flip, which is not a new Olympic sport, but it's some mechanism of how we trade money with the state. Oversight agencies and more. But throughout our history here, Brian Ponte has helped 4 city managers, 16 mayors, and dozens of city councils and council members through this maze called public finance. And after over 30 years of service to Redwood City, Brian will be retiring this May. So please join me in recognizing and thanking Brian. appreciate everything you've done for Redwood City. And we know where to find you, though, still. So I want to wrap up by just saying, none of these things that we've talked about stands alone. They are all tied together, as we are all tied together here as a community. We'll be updating our strategic initiatives. We had a council retreat Wednesday, spent all day together. We've talked about new things, new ways, what we need to do to keep Redwood City a great place. We'll be telling everybody what our priorities are, and then we'll be keeping score through a balanced scorecard. So you know, everyone in this community will know what our priorities are, where we're putting our resources, and how we're doing on getting there. In Redwood City, I just need to take a minute and say Redwood City is a very special place. Many of us have lived here for a long time. We've grown up here. We've seen and gotten used to certain things. But as we see new people come, not only to our community, but to our staff, we forget about one thing, that what we're doing in Redwood City doesn't happen everywhere else. Other cities are not doing what we're doing. Yes, they have great police, public safety, fire. Of course, every city has to do that. They have libraries, they have parks. But we take care of our community through our human services, through the programs we offer our seniors, through our youth. Those other programs make Redwood City a very special place. We celebrate, we have parties. I think, Eric, we have, the Silicon Valley Ball 2 coming this December. We're going to go from 1,500 to 2,500 people downtown. But it takes all of us working together toward a common vision. We are known. There's no question about it. Redwood City is known for its leadership, for our ability to look ahead, work tirelessly to get there, and I know that all of you believe in Redwood City. So I want to thank you for working together, for being a partner, and for helping Redwood City be a great place to work, live, and be here. So thank you very much.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn.
Pink bathrobes backstage, Paul, with the curlers.
I think Bob Bell, our city manager, and I were talking before. He reminded me that the Oscars are this Sunday. So we need to come up with a new category for government videos and movies and clips like that. So we'll make a submission to the Oscar committee. So any other thoughts or questions? Or if not, we don't need to keep everybody here. I know it's a rainy day. I need to do two things. Number one, I need to ask for your help. I'm going to ask for your help for two different things. Number one, on behalf of our city council, Vice Mayor Faust, our staff and our community, I want your help in banishing Deadwood City to the archives and welcoming a new day in Redwood City. So I need your help for that. Thank you. I'll be right back. Give me a second here.
It's a new day.
And I think we have a birthday cake here. It says, happy birthday, Roseanne.
Thank you.
So happy birthday.
Thank you. Yum. Thank you.
So thank you to Chamber. Thank you all for spending your Friday morning with us. It's a new day in Redwood City. Be safe in this weather. Thank you and have a great weekend.